time for him to toil in mediocrity. They have other options. So he needs to be fast out of the gate. If not, he'll be relegated to minor leagues, and it'll be tough. Those numbers will be much lessened. This is off of 140 games played. That's most of the season. Let's talk about the other guy in Oakland. Let's talk about the guy that most of us forget. How about A.J. Puck? This is a sleeper, guys. People forget. He was Jesus Luzardo before Jesus Luzardo. He's a highly touted prospect. He has the potential to be a frontline starter right beside Luzardo. He's 6'7". He has an elongated frame, and his delivery is deceptive. He hits mid-90s. He was the 6th overall pick in the 16 draft out of Florida. He was Florida's ace, which Florida is a elite college baseball program. The thing about Luzardo is he's developing his changeup. I would argue Luzardo's effectiveness is predicated off of how effective his changeup can be. Last year he threw his four-seamer 63% of the time, and he threw a slider 25% of the time. I'm not going to do the math. That's a lot. Again, Southpaw, you're absolutely right. It's predicated off of his changeup. If he can develop that changeup, that means he can go multiple innings, because his stuff's elite, right? That third pitch is key for A.J. Puck. I think he can do it. I think you're right. I think he starts out the year in the bullpen. But I think for the stretch run, this young man ends up filling out a rotation spot. That's a really good rotation. If you're talking about Frankie Montas, you're talking about Jesus Luzardo, you're talking about Puck, you're talking about Manea. There's a lot of talent there. I think if they use him in the bullpen, Southpaw, I think he's used in leverage situations. So if you're in a holds league, he maintains his value. They used Luzardo in that situation last year. I would imagine they'd be comfortable using him there as well. Love it. Welcome, by the way. Glad to have you. This next guy, I'm going to go a little homer on you. Nico Hoerner, just 22 years old, was called up out of need last year. He's a 21-year-old rookie. High contact rate. Really depends on how he starts the year out. He's a 24th pick overall out of Stanford. He only had 337 minor league at-bats. I don't know how. That's not a whole lot. But he fills the need for the Cubs. He could play second. He could play short. He's a contact hitter. I look for him to have a spot in that lineup pretty much all year long. He's competing with Ian Happ. I think he wins that. Sorry, I do not multitask well. I think he wins that position battle against Happ. Again, last year really was a trial for him. He proved he could hold his own, right? I look for Hoerner to play pretty much full time for a majority of the year for the Cubs. I look for him to hit around 260. I look for him to give you around 10 homers. Again, I think he's really young yet, guys. I have him too, George. He's 337 minor league at-bats is a sneeze. It is a moment in time. It is less than half of a year. But there's a reason they let him come up that quickly, right? He can steal you double-digit bases. There will be times when he will play to his true ability. His true ability in his prime is 2015. 20 homers, 15 stolen bases, about a 270 to 280 hitter. Think Ryan the Riot on steroids. A little bit more power, right? But I like this kid moving forward in the Cubs organization. Where does he hit, right? If he hits 7th, 8th, he's not as valuable as if he hits 2, 1. So look for that early on in the season. If he's hitting up high in the lineup, he's real value. I like this next guy, and I don't know if I should. So how about Sam Hilliard? Outfielder for the Rockies, right? Last year, in just 27 games at the major league level, he hit 273. He had 7 homers and 2 stolen bases. But at AAA, this is where you really start to become intrigued. Now, mind you, Colorado Springs is just like Denver. The altitude's high, the balls fly, okay? So that's your one thing that you have to understand when you're looking at this stuff. So AAA Colorado Springs is in essence the same altitude, the same environment as it is in Denver. So you're going to see inflated homers, right? He hit 35 home runs in 126 games at AAA. He had 262, 109 runs, and 101 RBIs. Here's the part I love about this kid. 22 stolen bases. Got your attention yet? Again, he played 27 games at the major league level last year. A touch more than a cup of coffee, right? Marita, what's up? Let me know who you are. I'm guessing Ed. Or Kyle. So Sam Hilliard, I like a lot. Again, Malpal, it's the same thing as whoever the hell we were talking about earlier. At-bats are an issue, right? But in Colorado, this guy can be effective, especially, look where they're batting him early on in the year. If he's hitting at the top, you can get this guy for free, guys. No one's talking about Sam Hilliard. Right? Have you heard anybody mention anybody about Sam Hilliard? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's all over the place. I know he's not all over the place. But here's a guy, if he's playing, I fell into this last year with Garrett Hampson, that son of a bitch. I don't think Sam Hilliard's the same player, though. I think Sam Hilliard has some staying power. He could put up monster numbers at Coors Field. Monster numbers. He could hit 40 homers if he's given damn near everyday playing time. And steal you 20 bags. Guys, this is for free. Even if he falls short of that, there's potential there. And no one's talking about him. You're right. Mount Pal, you're absolutely right. I'll tell you this, though. I play Hilliard over Tapia. Hilliard and Desmond are about the same, and I've never seen Dahl play a full season. So you're just talking about a guy. You're talking about yes, you're relying on injuries. But I like my odds. I like Hilliard. I think this, especially if they trade Arenado, they're going to play their kids. I think this kid sees a lot of at-bats. All right, so there's your guys who could be big impacts this year. I want to move in to talk about some guys that are Super 2 type players. They're probably not going to break camp. But I'd argue he's more than an NL only guy, George. That's my argument. It's predicated on playing time. But I feel like there's going to be an opportunity there for him. It's a long year. Let's talk about Super 2s. Guys coming up right around the June, July timeline. Let's talk about Dylan Carlson. This is a guy who has a legitimate chance to make the opening day roster at just 21 years of age. Last year, as a 21-year-old, don't quote me on that, he was one of the two. No, George, no. German Marquez is not the NL Cy Young. I'm telling you, Hilliard is going to get playing time. That's all I'm saying. You can poke fun at it. That's fine. They're going to let a guy with that kind of talent play. That's all I'm saying to you. Okay? Especially if they trade Arenado, which I feel like they're going to do literally any time. It could be now. It could be at the All-Star break. It doesn't matter. They're going to play Sam Hilliard because they're not going to be very good. David Dahl's going to get hurt. He's better than Tapia. You guys are pulling me in. I want to move on to Carlson. 21 years old. Last year, at Double A and Triple A, Carlson hit .292 with 26 homers and 95 runs to go with 20 stolen bases. In his 18 games at Triple A, dude hit .361. 5 homers in just 18 games. He's a switch hitter. He won the Texas League Player of the Year last year. And even before he won the award, he was pushed to AAA. At just 20. 20 years old, AAA. He has 4 years of minor league experience and over 1,400 at-bats. He's seasoned. Monitor this early, guys. If this guy is slated to start the year in the majors, this is a special talent. He could end up as the Rookie of the Year. Very easy. Really depends on playing time with this young man. Again, you have to watch about where his opportunity, right? You have to make sure he's going to get the playing time. But they don't rush guys like this, especially an organization like St. Louis, this quickly if they're not confident in his abilities. If he breaks camp with the Cardinals, you're talking about a 25 to 30